Elon Musk's Falcon Heavy rocket launched successfully. It took off from someplace in America, the Kennedy Space Center. I've been there twice. It's an amazing place to go to. And he's built a massive rocket, and it took off and left a big plume of smoke or something and shot off into the sky. And then its two rocket boosters separated, and then they landed perfectly in perfect sync. It was the most beautiful thing ever. And then it took off into orbit, into outer space, where Captain Kirk lives, and it then spat out a car with a mannequin in it. It's so wonderful that we have a car in space. Because I wasn't wrong before people started referencing Voyager and that episode where they found a truck floating in space. That's similar, so that's fun. I was actually counting the hours till somebody posted that on Reddit, and it didn't take long. We now have a car buzzing around outer space, cluttering up outer space, because it's not that big up out there. And everyone's very excited. Everyone's very inspired. It's wonderful, isn't it? Lovely, lovely car that we can achieve that so simply. But I think there's another side to this that people should maybe think about, which is that you are being distracted from what's actually happening, which is something wonderful, which is that we go to another planet. That'd be great. I'd love that idea. But also, we're doing something that we don't like to do. It's kind of completely against what Tesla are being made for, which is to protect the planet from emitting lots of garbage into the ether. These rockets are big, really big, as Douglas Adams would say. And did you notice in the dashboard of the car, it said, "Don't panic." Some of you might be too young to know what that is. Fools. It's a reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which, "Don't panic," is what was written on the cover of the book. You fool. Everybody knows that.
Life. Don't talk to me about life.
Back to these big bad rockets, though. I call them bad because potentially they might not be doing much good for the environment. The environment is something, by the way, that it's an issue that I'm aware of, but I don't really get involved in. I think we have to pick our battles. Of course, I make sure I put all my rubbish in the right compartment so it can be recycled. I don't mind doing that because it's not hard, and I think it's a good thing, and I feel pleased with myself when I do it. But I don't know how pleased Elon Musk must be feeling when he knows his SpaceX rocket is, if goes to plan, it will be taking off every 2 weeks. If it does that, approximately 4,000 tons per year of carbon will be dropped in the ocean. I better check my facts on that. The amount of kerosene I'm reading a webpage here. I'm reading theconversation.com. The amount of kerosene in 3 Falcon 9 rockets is roughly 440 tons and has a 34% carbon content. This amount of carbon is a drop in the ocean compared to global industrial emissions as a whole. But if the SpaceX plan for a rocket launch every 2 weeks comes to fruition, this amount of carbon, approximately 4,000 tons per year, will rapidly become a bigger problem. Because what will happen is everything will die. So it's probably a good idea for everybody to be inspired. I like that. I like that we're inspired, and I want the space programs to continue, and I like the thinking of Elon Musk, and I like Elon Musk, and I enjoy everything he's doing, but not everything's perfect. Not everything's great. His cars have had criticism for bad build, and not everyone can get everything absolutely right. But isn't it amazing how quickly this stuff has just appeared? I mean, it's just like you forget about him for a bit, and then boom, new car. Then you forget about him for a bit, then boom, new rockets, spaceships. You know, the guy is incredible, and I do like him a great deal. I mean, I really, really like Elon Musk. But I think that we do have to be realistic about this as a problem. Maybe he is thinking, well, you know, we've broken the Earth. The Earth is now broken, so we have to do this last ditch attempt and blow the environment and let's get going. We have to use fuel. We haven't got any other alternative. So let's burn all this fuel that we have to burn and get ourselves onto Mars as quickly as possible. Not only does that promote the car business, which is genius, it also distracts people from looking at all the fumes and garbage coming out of the other end of the rocket. They're looking at the nice car at the pointy end, when at this end, the backside end, it's very messy. And then you've got the lovely, pretty pictures of the two rockets landing delicately, exactly in line with each other. It's a piece of classical music. It's gorgeous. I love it. But there's a lot of bad stuff coming out of these rockets. Burning fuel is always going to be a bit of a stink, really, for the environment. The environment says no. And look at me, I'm sounding like this massive environmentalist. I'm not. I'm totally ardent. It kind of went wrong, didn't it? The car, the payload, which is the car, was supposed to head out towards Mars, but it kind of overshot its trajectory, meaning that it started heading towards an asteroid belt instead, where it would probably be smashed up. Collision is probably going to happen, which means it's going to scatter lots of little fragments out into space. Pollution will be a minimum, but I don't know. Is there any organic material there? I don't know. Probably not, right? Probably not. But it kind of gives us something to think. This is the first time, isn't it, that we've kind of ejected garbage out. It's an unwanted car. It's an unwanted spacesuit. As a mannequin. It's all a big distraction from what is actually happening, which is a massive energy burn to get to try and put something into to fire something out towards Mars, and it didn't work. Something that we don't know is how was the car put together? Was it just regarded as a car? Therefore, they didn't really care how clean it was. Did it have any like fingerprints on it? Any organic matter on it at all? Was it in a completely clean room? If bacteria from Earth did spread through the universe, that's serious. This could be the most perfect science fiction script where people in the future discover organic sludge that's developing these new life forms, and it's all born out of microorganisms that we've fired out into space when we fired a garbage junk car with a junk mannequin out there covered in fingerprints and organic matter, and somebody snotted in it, and there was a bit of debris from under somebody's fingernail, because who cares, right? And so what? I mean, maybe we do find microorganisms sometime in the future, and that would be exciting because we're finding alien life. Or are we just finding stuff that we've put there because we're firing junk out of rockets now?
This is you. I'm serious. Right here. Life is about to form on this planet for the very first time. A group of amino acids are about to combine to form the first protein. The building blocks of what you call life.
I know that I've focused a lot on the negative side of this wonderful story, and it is wonderful. The fact that in my lifetime, I didn't think I would see us making significant progress towards living on another planet, and here it is happening right in front of our very eyes. But it does have to be done right. And I don't know if it has been done right. I am seeing silly things happening. David Bowie being played out of a car with a spaceman in it, with the words "Don't Panic" written on the dash. I mean, that's a joke. That's funny. But if that was actually a crunched up Nissan Cherry with an old mangled, ugly 1970s mannequin in the boot, and an old CD player or something, if it was all stuff that we actually regarded as trash, garbage, junk, like from a junkyard, and we put that up there, imagine we put something that we didn't like the look of, that wasn't cool, but was essentially still a car. All right, it didn't have any oil in it or whatever, we're not suggesting that. But imagine we had put a dirty old mannequin, a mangled up old car out into space. Would we be thinking that is still cool? Of course, we don't think that because we had the brilliant footage of a spaceman in a nice sports car, and it was cool. I wish the SpaceX program absolute success, and I hope it does go. If I got a ticket tomorrow to go and spend the rest of my days on Mars, I would definitely take it. I'd have to take it. How could you not take such an amazing opportunity? Because believe it or not, we're all going to die anyway. This is like the most depressing video ever made about anything on the internet. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to upset anybody. And I don't want to poo-poo SpaceX either. I'm really sorry. Don't watch this video. Delete. But unsubscribe to me, everything. Do what you can. I'm going to go and sit in a corner now and weep.